we dance all night to the best song ever. We knew every line. Now I can't.
Oh my goodness, in the last few hours. Hello there. Nipping over there. It's all action here this morning.
It really is, yes. In the last few hours, One Direction crossed the road.
Someone's found a box with cameras in, and they're making the most of all of them.
Boys and their toys.
Yeah, One Direction then. They've done their first gig since announcing the break.
Yes, the temporary split, indeed. It was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a crowd of some 25,000. As I say, just a few hours ago, they came off stage. They're halfway through their On the Road Again tour. I would imagine there'll be a spent force, what with all the speculation about their split ahead of their final gig in Sheffield on the 31st. Now, of October, we had one man at the scene. It's Piet Levy. He's from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, and he joins us now on the phone. Good morning, Piet. I know it's late where you are. Welcome to the show. Obviously, the speculation about One Direction and the split continues, but what was the atmosphere like in the stadium? I can't imagine it was subdued.
No, subdued is definitely not a word you would describe for One Direction. Although there was actually a 7-year-old girl who had fallen asleep, and Harry Styles tried to wake her up. He was screaming, "Wake up, Lydia!" I guess there's a fan like in the front row. But she may have been the only one because the crowd was insane tonight. This was actually the first time One Direction has played in Milwaukee. There's a lot of excitement here. A lot of fans have been waiting years and years and years for this night to happen.
I'm sure it was a magical night, having seen the boys myself, but did they mention the impending split that we've been talking about all week?
There was no mention of it whatsoever. You know, as everyone probably knows, 3 of the 4 guys have addressed it and assured that, you know, they're going on this break, but they say that they still have other things they want to accomplish. It's not a breakup. Harry Styles has not really said anything about it. Tonight at the show, there was no mention of it whatsoever, unless you want to interpret a very casual "see you soon" by Niall at the end of the night as a kind of a reassurance that, yes, the band is not done. That would probably be the only evidence of that. But I think in a way that was actually probably the best call, that the band didn't really address the hiatus. The crowd that was here, I think, really just wanted to have a good time and maybe even live in a little bit of denial that this band might go on a break at some point. Everyone really loved the show, like it was a class, basically.
I gather that Harry, on a lighter note, is a fan of the local football team somewhat randomly. Is that true?
Yeah, Harry Styles is apparently a massive fan of the Green Bay Packers, which is a huge, huge deal here in Wisconsin. And Harry actually has a Green Bay Packers tattoo on his left bicep, which fans could see throughout the show. So he gave a massive shout-out to what he calls the biggest football team in the world. He asked for a moment of silence for a player who recently got injured for the entire season. The Packers have a rivalry with the Chicago Bears football team, and a fan brought a Chicago Bears sign. So Harry Styles gave thousands of people permission to boo this one person, which everyone got a great kick out of, except maybe that fan. Harry Styles really, all of them, but Harry Styles in particular, seemed to have a really, really great time playing here tonight. He seems like he really cares about Packers country, I guess, about Wisconsin.
Piet, thank you very much indeed. Piet Levy there from Wisconsin, our man on the ground on the inside of the most recent gig, of course, since the announcement of the split. I wonder if he had the look of a One Direction fan, didn't he, Piet? I wonder if he skimmed any merchandise that might blog on the internet a little bit later on.
That would be a business move, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Thank you, Piet.
And Louis's been talking, hasn't he? Louis Walsh we're talking about. I know Tomlinson. Louis Walsh has been talking, obviously no longer an X Factor judge, but he was around, wasn't he, when they all got together and was...
Yeah, he reckons they'll actually split for about 5 years or so. And let's face it, he's got form when it comes to boy bands, you know. I mean, he knows his stuff. But he thinks Niall is actually the one to watch. We know there's a rush with Sony to get Harry's stuff out apparently as early as next year, which means Zayn has got a little bit of a sweat on to get his stuff on. Yeah. They really want to nail him down for... you know, the solo career ahead of him being taken off to Tinseltown, where apparently he has an acting coach already. But yeah, Niall the one to watch, apparently, according to Louis. And it's not the first time that I've heard that, you know, with reference to Niall. So as much as we've been flagging up the fact he might take to his +4s in the golf course, there might actually be a bigger future for Niall than we've been predicting all week.
You know, it would fit the form of Robbie. No one thought it was going to be Robbie, would it?
No one thought it was going to be me. And it wasn't.
And it wasn't.